Hi everyone, welcome to our first lesson in chapter 3. This is just an introduction to trigonometry today, so quite a short video, short lesson, and we are in our 3.0 notes, and your notes start with introduction to trigonometry, and on the next page you have this right here, angles in a triangle. We're going to start off with a general rule that is always true of a triangle, and that is that the three angles, okay, 1, 2, 3, have to equal 180 degrees. This is always true of a triangle. So the sum of those three triangles is 100, or three angles is 180 degrees. And in a right triangle, one of those angles is 90 degrees. Right triangle is a special type of triangle where we will see that one of the angles is a 90-degree angle, and that's denoted or shown with a little square in the corner of the right angle. Okay, this is a perpendicular angle here. So this arm here runs perpendicular to this arm. In other words, they meet at 90 degrees. And whenever you see that little square box in the corner of a triangle, you know that that is equal to 90 degrees. This is called a right triangle or right angled triangle. Okay, not all triangles are right triangles. Some of them are acute triangles or obtuse triangles. However, any triangle that has a 90-degree angle inside it is called a right triangle. Now, it's true that all three angles have to equal 180 degrees, but when you have a right triangle, one of those angles is equal to 90 degrees, which is half of 180. That simply means that these other two angles, okay, so coming up to our notes for a minute, the other two angles must add up to the other 90 degrees, because 90 plus 90 gives us the total 180 degrees. Let's have a look at a couple of triangles here. We always label triangles using capital letters at each of the vertices or the points of the triangle. So A, B, C, we could call this triangle. And angle A plus angle B plus angle C must equal 180 degrees. For those of you who are really new to geometry or trigonometry, this little symbol right here, okay, means angle. So when you see it, it's talking about the angle A. Over here on my right triangle, I can see that I could, if I didn't know one of the angles, so let's call this also triangle ABC, okay, where angle C is equal to 90 degrees. And if I didn't know the value, let's say of triangle A, okay, pardon me, of angle A, but I knew B and I knew C, there's two ways that I could find the value of an unknown angle. The one rule that is always true is that all three of those angles have to equal 180 degrees. So this is always true. So if I knew two of those angles, I could simply subtract them from 180 degrees. The other thing that is true is that if this angle is equal to 90, that means that angle A and angle B together have to be equal to the other 90 degrees. Okay, so I could also use sort of a faster method of figuring out one of my unknown angles. Okay, let's do some examples with some real triangles and some numbers. Okay, so on the bottom of your first page of your notes, you have find the missing angle. Okay, so we're looking here for angle C. This is the missing angle. So we want to find angle C. Okay, well, one thing I know that is true is that the three angles together, A plus B plus C, have to equal 180 degrees. I know that that's true. So that means that angle C is going to be equal to 180 degrees, subtract the two angles that I know. So subtract angle A at 71 degrees and subtract angle B at 64 degrees, and angle C is equal to 45 degrees. And there's my answer. Let's try another one. Oops, that's all I've got. I'm come back to your first page, and I'm going to do a right triangle for us. So let's try one more. Okay, and a right angled triangle. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to this time, let's make one up. Okay. So as soon as I see that little square in the corner, I know right away that's a right triangle. And the value of that one angle there is 90 degrees. So let's call this ABC again. So triangle ABC. And let's say we're looking for angle B. Okay. And I'm going to say that angle A is equal to, let's say, 40 degrees. Okay. So there's a shortcut here. I've got two methods that I could use to solve for angle B. One method I could use is that the whole triangle, all three angles must equal 180 degrees. So I could add 40 plus 90, and I can subtract that number from 180. So one way to solve this is to say it's 180 minus 90 minus 40. Okay, which is going to give me 50 degrees as my answer. So there's one method. The other sort of shortcut that I could use is to recognize that angle A plus angle B together have to equal 90 degrees. Okay, so a fast way then to do that is to say, well, angle B is just going to be equal to 90 minus angle A. Okay, and that's going to work out to be 50 degrees. Either way I do it, it's going to work. Great. I'm going to stop this lesson here. So we've just figured out a way to solve for a missing angle as long as I know two of the three angles. And this will be very useful for us as we move along and deal with right triangle geometry, because often you are asked to figure out everything, all the dimensions of a triangle. So you might be asked to find all three side lengths as well as all three angles. And this is one tool in our toolbox that we can use. If I know two angles, I can always find the third. I'm going to stop this here. Thanks for joining me.